Yeah, because the song came out in 81 or is it 82?
Which song?
Valley Girl.
Oh,
The film was 1983. Where was the song? You're going to give me nothing but the movie, aren't you? Let's see. 1982, yeah. So we're talking the year after. But yeah, that was an interesting walk down amnesia lane. It was a little terrifying because I remember hearing that song on the radio.
really?
Yes. Oh, yes. I remember hearing that song quite well. And it was hilarious. Drove my mom bonkers in the morning because it was on the pop
I've never
station.
heard it on the radio.
You know, yeah, maybe a little bit before your time.
Yeah, because I mean, I grew up with parents who like lived and died by radio. So, but they were more like, if it wasn't like, if it wasn't like 70s, 80s news radio, which was like that style of radio was dying out by the early 80s, then it was either like sports play by plays or it was classic rock and top 40, but more like rock than pop.
Mm.
Or folk music. There was a folk music station when we lived outside of DC that I realized I was raised on, and I know way, way too much folk music.
Okay. All
Sea
right. These are
shanties.
dark secrets from Veronica's world.
I know.
All right, I'm posting something in there in live for you.
Dark secrets.
For whom?
For you.
Ooh.
Eat is cringe. Cringe has been yeeted.
I have these conversations regularly.
I'm sure you do, actually. I'm absolutely sure you do.
Me, test vocabulary. Ew, mom, no. But no. Why? That should not come out of your mouth. But you said it exactly. Me decides to say it even more.
We all know Lana's name backwards. I turn my back on you. It's Lana. I used that once in a holiday camp to a room full of kids. Parents shit. Okay. This is a little terrifying. Rowdy says he was raised on Hee Haw and Roger Miller.
I was raised on Hee Haw. I think I somehow missed Roger Miller.
I'm not familiar with Roger Miller. Roger Rabbit, yes. But no, I'm not on there. I don't know what's going on here. 70s classic rock and pop, yeah. Then I got into metal. Then that was the end of the world. Made me into the person I am today. And we're not talking about Poison. No.
That's not. No.
Yeah,
no,
let's not.
That's
we have a
pure
word
metal,
for
which
it that
is
I will not
decidedly different
use.
than metal.
I will not use the term that we use. Anyway, yeah. Different strokes for different folks, so to speak. Don't be quoting Rem to me. What's wrong with you? You know, we should probably kick this thing off.
Should we?
Yeah, probably.
That's all on you.
Yeah, it probably is. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul E. Cooley. Joining me today, Veronica Jagger and Terry Mixon, as always. How the hell are you fine people?
Good.
Present.
Present?
Present.
Just present.
Cute.
I'm not going to take issue with that. That is a trap. When a woman says something like that, that is a trap, and I'm not walking into that.
The trap is, I'm fine.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. The worst two words a married man can hear. I'm fine.
No. I'm sorry. It's not I'm fine. It's you do whatever you want. Whatever you like.
Oh, that's also.
No.
Or if you ask. I mean, there's the ask, do you need anything? And if you hear nothing, that's like, shit.
Yeah, this is where the guy sit there and goes, okay, what did I do wrong? What have I said in the last 5 minutes that could have pissed her off?
So let me bring up my. I shared an image with my wife this morning in Messenger that I can bring up and paste in there that is absolutely perfect for this particular sequence of conversations. So let me go ahead and put that into live as well.
Paul ever listened to SYL? I don't know what that is.
Or actually, I
So,
didn't share it with
obviously
her,
not.
sadly. It was a picture of a car's dashboard with all these gauges, and it said that a man can understand all these gauges, but they can't understand women. And the response was, yeah, but the gauges actually tell you what's wrong.
I mean, it is rare that a gauge will ask you to infer from the other things around it.
You should already know this. Obviously, I don't. Why don't you tell me?
Rick says, don't be sharing dick pics with us. He's not. He's not. We won't allow that.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I'll go hunt for a dick pic right now.
Oh, no. Please don't. It's going to be bad if I have to censor you. Of course, it'll be interesting to see what kind of dick he puts in there.
La la la.
What
La,
kind?
la, la.
Oh, good. So now you've thrown in variety.
Well, it could be a person named
we are
Dick.
6 minutes in, and we're
It could be a
already
person
towing
named
the After
Dick.
Dark line.
It could be a person named Dick. It could be a spotted dick, as in a pudding. It could be, there's all sorts of things it could be. And there's a dick in the
There
line.
is. You're right.
That
Of
would
the
be a
Grayson
Dick
variety.
Grayson. That would be a Dick Grayson. Very good. Very good, Terry. You punny bastard. Anyway, what's up in your world, V?
It is back to school season. So that is
You
always
stand at the
for.
front door and you go, get out.
See, that would be great if there was a bus. Except I can't. I can go, get in the car, we're driving. Or rather, I go, bye guys, I'll see you later, because I don't do morning drop-offs anymore.
Yay!
Yay! I do afternoon pickups.
Boo.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, as it always is. Schedules change. So it is a challenge. So I get to figure out when I'll be writing, when I'll be recording.
Right.
I will be finding a lot of good audiobooks to listen to while I'm in the car. Little half-hour chunks back and forth from school. So yeah.
Cool.
Writing, still plugging away on various projects. Recording, sent in auditions, gotta thank someone who's chosen somebody else. I was like, oh, okay. I'm still waiting to hear back on another one that sounded really cool. So that's been it, just kind of gently continuing apace. And I'd wanted to share something about an author event that the narrator organization I'm a part of is going to be putting on towards the end of the month. But unfortunately, our website is down this weekend because stuff is being redone. And I can't share it because I don't want to share anything that doesn't have a registration bit. But what I can say is that if you are an author who is curious about indie audiobooks, meaning you want to find out how to look for narrators, how to cast them, ideas for how to afford them, distribution options, and just any general questions, I'm going to be moderating that panel on Friday, August 29th at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and that's 5 p.m. British Summer Time. And it will be recorded. I think we're going to have it not behind the paywall because it's free to everybody. So hopefully once I have the information, I'll share that in Discord. But it'll be fun. I like moderating panels. Are you audio curious? You should all be audio curious. Very, very curious.
Tim says he's audio furious.
I waver between that. That's a daily moment. It's usually like, where is this? Why didn't I get the pickups? Why
I know
isn't it
that
saving?
feeling.
Stupid waveforms.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah. So that's been my week. Terry, you and Julius there.
Well, Julius has been a very good boy this week. He hasn't, caused any trouble. But I will say that there have been problems meshing the two sets of upstairs cats into one group, because anytime you mix two sets of cats, you get a reordering of the hierarchy. Those who were on top may no longer be on top. Everybody has to fight for their new place. Bug is definitely now at the bottom of the pack. But Castor, who used to be one of the top cats, is no longer at the top and is being bullied by somebody, though I'm not sure who. He's hiding. So he's being very withdrawn, and I don't like that.
Well, that's not good.
It's not good, but it will all sort itself out. The upstairs boys will figure out their issues. It's only been less than a week. They'll sort themselves out, and I'm sure that Castor will reassert himself. Bug is never going to be on top again, though. That's the way it is. Because these boys are now like, yeah, we outnumber you. Your estrogen is meaningless. But there's a plus side to this, because now Bug is climbing on my chest and wanting me to hold her and pet her. Like yesterday, I had her on my chest for an hour, just buzzing away while she was getting petted. And I'm like, who are you? And what have you done with my little psycho?
Oh.
Protect me. They're all mean to me, Dad.
That's what she told me. It's a lie, and I know it's a lie, but I will pet her nonetheless. My wife and I spent a little bit of time yesterday putting up, you can't really tell, but if you see a little reflection on the shelves behind us, I got some plexiglass doors to go on there because the cat's like dragging things out of the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant that the plexiglass arrived with sticky on both sides, and the parts that needed to be glued still had sticky on it. So that was a real pain in the butt to get fixed up.
I find it troubling that you're restricting your cat's, reading material.
Yeah,
not letting them check out stuff.
They've already destroyed at least one of my role-playing books, so I would like to, not have that happen again, because it was a Kickstarter thing, and while it was a small book, now it's a little map book that I no longer have.
Noted. So what reading privileges get revoked when we cannot, bring back library books in the same condition. I do understand that.
Pretty much that's the way it is. They're not so happy with the fact that their little hidey holes are now restricted and they can't climb in there and push all the books out.
Have any of them tried? And
yes. Well, I don't know if they've tried now, but they've been doing that in the past. They're like looking at it going, what is all this? What is this? Where's my stuff?
I'm waiting for the one who forgets that there's plexiglass and runs, and bam.
Could happen.
It could happen.
But the benefits is I get visited by new cats instead. Oh.
Well, apart from cats, have you been doing anything?
I have been writing, but not as much as I should have. But I've got plenty of time to make that happen, and I am back into the swing of things of doing it. Just picking up speed is what I'm doing.
I got you.
I've set a lower target goal, so that makes it more achievable, and I'm still going to get things done faster.
Excellent.
That's the goal.
I wish you success.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything. Let's see. What have I been doing? I finished. Finished the Saculina. Finished the Saculina audiobook. It's now in Audible's hands now. The podcast started on Friday. Patreon has been they've got 16 chapters, I think, now out of 19 and on epilogue. So they're almost done with the whole tale. I've been getting them an episode a day, so we'll see just how well the crack takes. But pretty happy to get that done. I still have to go through and start doing, go back and master Oceania, since I'm supposed to get a cover this year. Go back and remaster Oceania and get it ready for Audible. I wanted to start putting stuff in Audible to check it, the files, but you can't do that because you have to have a book on Kindle to have an Audible book.
You mean just to check the audio quality?
No. Well, yeah, what I was going to do, I was going to upload all the files and get ahead on that, but you can't even start the project unless the book is in Kindle.
There are a couple programs that'll do that, and I know one of them is open source. It's called Second Opinion, and I think Pretty sure I can find it, but it's open source. It'll tell you what's wrong if there's enough like head space, bottom space. If the RMS is good. Let me find it.
Seems like I used something like that in the past and just it no longer worked, or I stopped using it for some reason. I don't know. So I'm writing on camp, and it's going kind of slow right now because I'm still doing some setup, but we're almost through the setup. And I figure once that goes on, then we're going to start cranking out 3,000 word chapters. So that's the hope. I want to try and get this book done before September, but I don't think that's going to happen. Would be nice. And I'm still waiting for word on Kill Shelter with RTP. So
You've been waiting an awful long time.
I'm waiting on a lot of stuff right now. I'm waiting on a lot of stuff right now. It's kind of annoying. So just basically getting refocused on the writing and getting that going and stifling the urge to start recording an Ancient Trap again because I have got to get the writing done. So that's everything that I have been up to. There is one piece of news that I put in the general, which is AI industry horrified to face largest copyright class action ever certified. Basically, 7 million authors are signing up for a class action against Anthropic AI for stealing all the works. Now, so far, it looks like the case is going to be really interesting. It's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. But essentially, their logic is, without stealing everything, we can't possibly have an AI. That's their argument. My argument back is, pay us, you bitch.
Maybe you shouldn't have stolen everything in sight.
Yeah, no shit. So anyway, it's something to keep track of. I'm going to be watching this really, really closely because this is going to mean a lot into the future. And I posted that in general, so if you want to take a look at that, it's in there for you. But we're not here to talk about that today, although that is a conflict.
Wait, we're not?
We're not.
Holy shit. Why not?
Why, did you have something to say about it?
No.
You know, I'm moving the fuck on. I'm moving the fuck on. God, how are we going to do this? Jesus Christ. All right. You spend hours, days, weeks, months designing the perfect environment, the perfect world. You do all the world building. You've got all of that set up. You've got fantastic creatures. You have royalty set up and everything else to fall and all these wars going on and everything there and ready to go. Now you just have one humongous fucking problem. You need to have a story. And it's not enough just to walk around that area. You need to have a story. You need to have characters and they need to do shit. Mm-hmm. And typically, unless you're writing a slice of life kind of thing, they're not just going to be wandering around doing their normal everyday chores. There's going to be something that's out of the ordinary. It doesn't have to be anything major, but something out of the ordinary. Getting hit with a tomato, a stray tomato, starts a little fight or starts a little question of what this person's going to do to the person who threw the tomato. Very simple. A little conflict like that can really spiral out of control very quickly, or it can be really funny as hell, depending how you write it. But the world, everything else there is just the backdrop. You have got to have that conflict there. And some of us love to put conflict in there, very early and then keep needling at it until things just kind of fall apart, until it becomes a major thing. What are your thoughts, V?
I mean, finding like good conflict is something that I think once you find it, the story clicks and everything starts to fall into place. But you can have awesome characters in a great setting, but it can't be perfect. If everything's perfect, there is no conflict. And there has to be something wrong, something broken, something not quite right. And figuring that out. I mean, that's the movement in your story. Nobody wants to read a story where everything is perfect, because it's boring.
Boring.
And even with slice of life stories, the conflict may not be major, but you go through they're little conflicts throughout your day. You know, it's not like you have to save the world. Sometimes you just have to figure out what's for dinner. And that's a conflict in itself, because you have to do it every single day for the rest of your life as an adult. So, you know, oh my gosh, I have to figure out something for dinner. Oh my gosh, I have to figure out something that everybody will eat. Everybody has different preferences. I'm out of these 5 ingredients. What am I going to do? Dun-dun-dun.
I think if you really want to find conflict, you go to the grocery store when they first open, and all the old people come in there like zombies to pick up their orders.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I see you 8 a.m. I see your 8 a.m. geriatric, grocery pickup, and raise you 12:30 p.m. on a Sunday post church in the South.
Oh, well, that's Texas too. That's you got to be a lunatic to go. That's not people watching. That's pain. That's being part of a capitalistic riot. That's what that is.
But it's conflict.
It is conflict.
It is conflict.
Let go my egos.
So, but that's the thing. I struggle with that, because I want to tell stories about characters that I love, and I've got to figure out the conflict for them first. And then it's always figuring out like where to start the conflict. How much setup do you have to do? What kinds of and making sure that different characters have different conflicts. It can't just be one thing. There has to be an arc. Otherwise, you're going to have a little story. If you're going to write a novel or you're going to write a series, multiple conflicts. You have to either chain them, or the big one has to, spin off little ones. And I know the other thing I struggle with is figuring out if the conflict's big enough. Because can you really solve it? Well, sure. You could solve it quickly, but should you? Is it realistic to solve it quickly?
Oh, that's a completely different episode.
I have a solution for that particular problem.
Oh,
I never run
God.
into that particular issue, because while I might have a big conflict, the best way I found to deal with that is to have a bunch of conflicts going on. Different things that it doesn't matter if you swat one of them down, the other ones are going to be right there. So as long as you're trying to juggle problems, fixing one of them is plot progress, and it makes the readers feel good. But it doesn't really stop the problems you have coming, so you can have the tension continue.
So Terry is advocating for a whack-a-mole solution.
That's
to your story
exactly
conflict.
right. That is totally exactly right.
Here, bam. Wait, here, bam.
Iterative
Here.
design,
Shit.
iterative problem solving is what it sounds like.
It's more like fixing. Raw. Oh!
Or fix. Hey, here's a solution. And now that solution causes a problem for somebody else. Or that solution raises more issues.
Or utterly fails.
Or utterly fails. Failure
I love
is always an
I
option with conflict.
love utter failures, because it just raises the stakes that much more. The heroes thought that this would work, and not only does it not work, it made things worse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of my faves.
I think one of my favorite things, and this is, every genre has like different categories of conflict. And there's usually, so for your contemporary romance stuff, and even like your fantasy, like romantasy, your sci-fi romance, the romance conflict is pretty straightforward. I mean, you can have tropes, but it's pretty much, will they end up together? That's how do they do that? But then each main character always has like an internal conflict or like an environmental situational conflict that they somehow have to resolve in order for that overarching will they get together to work out. And then if you have a kind of a shared universe, so where each book focuses on a different pairing or grouping per story, the main character conflict will often get introduced as a secondary or tertiary storyline within the previous book.
Okay.
So it connects it together. And so like when you look at the plot lines, so the plot lines wind up overlapping for these books and the timelines wind up overlapping. So it requires a lot of planning. I didn't realize until I read a lot more of it and then was starting to write my own, like, oh shit, I can't finish writing the one book and then go on to the other. You literally have to outline, or if you're not an outliner, you need to go back and study what you wrote and then tease things out, which is weird, but cool.
I
But
would
then-
never go back to a previous book and add information for the next book I'm going to write.
Oh no,
I
I'm
would
not,
never
I'm not
do
saying
something
add
like that.
information. I'm saying like forensic outlining.
Oh, yeah.
So, which if you ever write fan fiction, that is a skill. You have to like forensically outline the source material in order for your fan fiction to work.
That's a good point.
It's
a very good
it's
point.
why people frown on fan fiction a lot, but it's a lot of you have source material and there's a fence around things, and then you can be exploiting conflict that you find.
Mm-hmm.
You could be finding new conflict that the original author didn't think about, or you're introducing a new character or a new setting, and that breaks off something else, which is fun.
James asks, what is the name of that slice of life anime at a school which plays on all the anime action tropes? I have no clue.
Not sure.
You mentioned fan fiction. It occurs to me that I'm not a big enough fan of any franchise to really write fan fiction. I don't know enough about any of them that I want to play there. Except maybe the Alien universe.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes it's starting in that universe and then realizing that the ideas that you have are way too big, and what you want to do really does require a whole new piece.
Interesting.
I mean, I give you the Dead Space game franchise.
Yeah, if that were a place I could play, it's a place I would definitely play.
But but the thing is, it's grabbing something and going, huh, what if I did this? And then starts like, oh, well, if I just shave off the serial numbers and tweak it for what I want.
I did some of that for Station 3.
I mean, people have gone, Shakespeare, of course, bastardized previous works and then put them in new settings, made them his own. And there have been plenty of movies, books, series that have taken those same, like skeleton outlines and then, put new bodies
dressing
on them
on 'em.
and went, hey, it works.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities to do that. I just find it really interesting to think about the fan fiction that goes on with a lot of these different works. Because you hear whispers about some of these things, and I know some of them get turned into actual series, once somebody finishes filing off all the serial numbers. So,
Yes.
that's not
Yes,
a bad
we
way
do.
to go. Yes, we do.
Yeah, it totally works. And sometimes the source material goes, hey, we're going to go endorse that because we liked it that much.
Matt says, I discovered fanfic getting taken to a Stargate con by my ex, and then I found out about /fic there. Then huddled in a corn, holding my knees, rocking back and forth. Yes, James, 50 Shades of Grey was a Twilight spinoff.
Yep.
Still not sure how that works, but okay. I've never read either books, so I have no idea. I will not talk out of my ass much. Everything is conflicts goes on every day. Every single day, there's something in your way. There's something that's stopping you from doing something, or there's something you're supposed to be doing you don't want to do, and you're going to be forced to do. So it doesn't matter if you're on a ship and you're bumping into people and this, that, and the other, and there's some asshole that you piss off and he pisses you off, and then pretty soon we've got a fight that could happen. We've got all sorts of other things that go on. There's shit every day. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and it pisses you off the rest of the day, maybe causes you to do something stupid. It's all out there. Zen and the Art of Conflict Resolution. It usually involves a shotgun, doesn't it? Anyway, there is a great song by VMV Nation called The Art of Conflict. And it basically quotes Sun Tzu. Really good instrumental. Yeah, study the art of war. Agreed.
If you desire peace, prepare for war.
I'm speaking from experience on what? I'm confused. I hate it when I don't know what it was in reference to. Zen in the Art of Conflict Resolution. Yeah, that's getting practiced. In this day and age, that just seems wrong in so many ways.
If one sits by the river long enough, they will witness the bodies of their enemies floating past.
Yep. Keep quoting that.
Unless the water is too cold, you have to wait. Then you have to wait for the water to warm up so that bodies can rise to the surface, and then they'll float past. What? It's true.
It just seemed a very specific set of conflicts. Ah, gotcha. Caused a lot of conflict in his life. But don't we all? That's a very true statement. Actually, Terry and I probably have the least conflict of anybody in here, and maybe V too. Well, no, V's definitely got more stressors than we do, because all we do is we sit at home all day and deal with animals.
If only everyone else knew what we know about V's secret life.
I mean, I haven't started that Patreon yet, so.
If one sits beside the river long enough, one will have to pee.
Also true.
You remember that house that that famous architect designed, Andrew Lloyd Webber, that has the river flowing underneath it? Holy crap! There would be bathroom all the time.
It's not Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's the composer, but I know the architect you're talking
Frank
about.
Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright. That's
there we go.
Andrew Lloyd Webber did Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, the douchebag from the Phantom of the Opera is designed a building. What the fuck?
It's a very beautiful building, but it literally has rushing water underneath it.
Yeah.
So you never escape from the sound of running water.
I mean, Phantom of the Opera, there is a river, running through the catacombs because there's the boat that they're on. So subterranean rivers with both.
I'd hate to live in a house designed by Weber.
I would too. Not my jam. I respect the artistry, but not the jam.
To be fair, he would make a mental building. Yes, he probably would.
With jazz hands.
I will post a picture so that those who do not know what that is can see it.
If you've ever been to Neuschwanstein in Germany, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, you get to see just how whack architecture can be when the person who's in charge of everything, as in the king or whatever he was, every room is a scene from a different Wagner opera. And none of them have the same style at all. Apart from some of the Bohemian crystal and everything else, it's priceless.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting place to go. Disney used that castle as the template for their castle that they use in their logo.
Okay.
Way back in the day. Yeah, King Ludwig's castle, yeah. Mad King Ludwig. If I remember correctly, he killed himself by trying to go to battle, and he was going to cross the river in his armor. I believe he and his horse drowned. That's how that worked, but I can't remember.
Oops.
He was... he had a few screws loose, we'll put it that way.
Hence the Mad King.
Yeah, hence the Mad King.
Yeah.
Matt says there was a whole trend in the UK over having water running down the windows. Again, yes, a pee magnet. See what you started, Terry?
Hey, blame Weber, not me.
Right. Blame for forget it.
Lloyd
Barbarossa. F you in the horse you rode in. Yeah. You are mega late, Anton. Antoine. Had a brain fart there.
You're so late that we've already ran out of butt jokes. We're done. It's finished.
Yep,
Jim
we got to the end.
says, isn't there a house in the U.S. where they set up all these stairs and corridors that went nowhere because they were insane and believed in ghosts? That would be the Winchester House in California.
There are indeed some, yes. That is a
That
house.
would be the Winchester House. It was to keep the ghosts from getting out. To get them confused so they couldn't go anywhere, if I remember correctly. They made a really terrible movie about it, but if you go look at the actual history of the Winchester House, it's rather interesting. Rather interesting. Yeah, I can't swim in armor, but you do get a +5 to your diving ability.
So true.
Not wrong.
That's a character somebody needs to put in the book as a modern day Mad King Ludwig. Yes, that's where the whole supernatural Winchester thing came from, I think. I could be wrong. Wouldn't surprise me. There are a lot of crazy places. I used to look at history or historical haunted houses when I was a kid, like Calaveras Castle, which is notorious, and I can't even remember where it is. Either Portugal, Spain. I don't remember which. But it's really interesting to me. I like the idea of a haunted house, and I have no idea why. Tim says, do you think longer books need more conflict, or is there a way to deepen and extend conflicts without introducing more variables?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think longer books need more conflicts. Like V was saying earlier, that you've got, I mean, the easiest thing to do is to compare it to a video game arc of any of these fantasy RPG games. You have the side quests that take you off your main path, but you're always trying to get back to the main path. And along those lines, you're going to find stuff that stops you from getting back to the main path, or there may be something you need in order to conquer the main path, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on. But basically all you're doing is you're throwing more and more obstacles, Terry's favorite thing to do, in front of your main characters and making them figure it the fuck out. And that's part of the craft.
Yeah, I think, especially with the analogy to some bigger like RPG stuff, you can have a conflict that seems to get resolved by the end of even the first book, and it can be big. But if you're doing a series, then resolving that conflict creates something bigger. So it's like you have this little thing, and then it just blows up, and that can cover 2, 3, 4 books. Because and the thing is, you can focus more on the conflict, on the big conflict in later books, because people know the characters already. People are familiar with the setting. So the mini conflict, kind of like, because in a lot of these RPGs, the first third of the playthrough is you getting to know the playstyle, the expectations for combat, and how the lore is put out, and the little things you're looking for on the map all over the place. And yeah, you get a conflict. So you get, oh, this is good. And then you realize once it's solved, then that opens up a whole new can of worms. And it's a challenge. And then, okay.
Rowdy says character development fills in the gaps on longer books. Yep. Yes, but even that character development needs conflict of some sort.
Yep. And just by nature of a character developing, if characters develop and grow, they do that through conflict.
Longer books need subplots. Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. And those have conflicts of their own.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of sex scenes. You know, you put a sex scene in a monster book and people freak the fuck out. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. And I would offer that it's not, you don't necessarily need the sex scene. You need either the promise or the tease, because people are like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? No. Damn it. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Are you kidding me? Or almost happening, and then the monster comes in. And you're like, dude, why? It was almost.
Roddy says prefer the Monster of the Week episodic. Yeah, that's a point where you characters are gonna repeat typically, where you've got the Monster of the Week, and you can do a lot of crazy stuff with the characters, and they can remain relatively static.
They can, but if you think of like X-Files. Sorry.
V is going for plot edging. I'm sorry, I could not go away from that.
I don't think anyone other than her husband has ever accused V of edging.
V, what you were saying?
Was saying, and it's not after dark, so there's a subscription for that answer.
There
Anyway.
will one day soon be a subscription for that answer.
Maybe I don't know. You'll just have to wait and find out. Anyway, crap. What was I saying?
I don't know.
She derailed herself with her naughty librarian look.
I completely derailed you. I said characters can be static and episodic, and you said about the X-Files.
Okay, so with the Monster of the Week and the episodic things, it works best if there's still there's still an arc. So like with the X-Files, the conflict is that Mulder is trying to prove that he's right and get Scully to believe in the supernatural. That's really it. And then once she does, it's them together trying to convince everybody else. Their other, I apologize for this one. Sailor Moon does it. Sailor Moon was notorious for like Monster of the Week episodes, but there was still an arc that went through. And when they redid it, it's been redone on Netflix with more of a manga style animation. The episodes tightened up. And while there are some of the same familiar like Monster of the Week-esque episodes, the overarching plot is much tighter. And so you see how the little Monster of the Week things, how those are resolved, they point back to the main arcs. And that really works.
Agreed. What are you doing, Terry? You're getting mauled?
He is kneading my throat with those claws.
Awesome.
I posted that other up because this made me think, there could be an ASM channel for murders where it's all done to soothing music.
Do, 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 do. Ah! You hear the drills going on in the background?
But it's got to be relaxing drills.
I don't know how you make a drill relaxing.
This is ASM, it's got to be relaxing.
Yes, oh my God.
I have thoughts, I have suggestions, I have examples, and I am...
And really waiting for After Dark in 20 minutes. I can see how this is.
Using my powers for good.
Yeah, we don't need rails. We already went right off them. I slash you because I love you. Wow, that's creepy.
I mean, based on previous discussions, that can be taken so many ways.
No kidding. Terry's having a BDSM scene with his black cat on the show. Hand cranked drilling. Oh God, that sounds just so bad. Oh.
And now we drill, but we go slowly so they can feel every striation on the bit.
Oh, I hate Dennis. Oh God, anything dental. Oh, yikes. So let's see. Hello, William. Mr. West. Story arcs can be recursive fractal. Episodes can recapitulate. Seasons can recapitulate the series. Yes, I understand what you mean by that. Yes, they can. I was going to bring up a story arc that I thought, okay, Buffy. I think Buffy's actually a better example than the X-Files because the X-Files fucked around for 4 seasons on one shitty overall plot and then added 3 seasons for another shitty overall plot. Mm-hmm. So Buffy was every season had an overall plot, and then the Monsters of the Weeks pushed everything forward and kept you guessing when they were going to have to deal with the big bad. But that always pushed things around. The episodic episodes are what kept you in the game. and they were far more interesting to me than a lot of the main plots. The Monster of the Week stuff was cool, and I really enjoyed those episodes. But I think that's a really good one to study for how it puts everything together and how it works. And I'm sure there are tons of other examples, good examples.
If we'd had more seasons, for examples, Firefly would have been a great example.
Firefly would have been a good example too.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, then there was Babylon 5, which had a 5-season plot until the networks screwed things up. I need to watch that again. It's on Tubi, I think. The entire shooting match.
Yeah. Actually, another one, now I think about it, Star Trek Voyager was a good example because because they were stuck out in the middle of nowhere and could not get home. There was always the overarching, how do we get home? How do we get closer to figuring out how to get home? And
Same thing with Sliders.
Yeah. So there is something to be said for looking at TV series that do that, for how to have that big plot and then the little pieces.
That's the easiest way to view it is just to watch the thing. But there are plenty of books, obviously, that do that. Dresden does a lot of that with the way those are set up, and that's why people really like them.
Yeah.
And that's why they're popular. It's not just the great characters, but it's also the way he tells the stories and the kind of storytelling it is.
Yep.
Xander, I'll cover you when we get to that point. Let's see. Poke a Q and trick them into traveling home. Let's see, I love the episode where they spent the week preparing and Big Bad turns up 2 inches tall. The caption of the image translated to shown actual size. Oh, that was easy. That's a great Halloween episode. Yeah, they're preparing for some horrible thing that's killing everybody, and then it turns out to be this teeny tiny little Irish thingy that they just stomp on. For those who don't know, the network canceled the 5th season of Babylon 5, so JMS compacted all the plot into season 4, and then they said, oh, actually, you have the 5th season now. Yeah, and that screwed the pooch. Hardcore. Very unfortunate, because it was such a great series. Such a great series. Anyway, that notwithstanding. What other kinds of conflict are there?
I was thinking with Terry's Empire of Bones, the conflict is cat. The conflict is, I don't want to say it's easy, because I don't think finding conflict and writing stories
straightforward, perhaps.
Okay, because a lot of times it's flip point. Oh, we're stuck. We can't go back. Hey, what happens next? And there's just, it seems to be like a blank slate. It's like, planet, people. And then your overarching thing for a huge chunk is just the promise of worlds that are not controlled by humans and what that could mean, and discovering the bits and pieces there.
Right.
But every book is a step towards figuring that out. And does it get resolved? Do we figure everything out? No writer ever figures everything out, because we want loopholes. We want the promise of another series.
Antoine says, yeah, like the side novel of the 3-body problem, the aliens are like 4 to 6 inches tall, but you never meet them on the main series. I am completely unaware of that book. I mean, I'm aware of it, but I don't know anything about it. So really, they're that small? The conflict is always cat.
He's not wrong.
Basically, you have internal personal conflict or external challenges to what the heroes are trying to achieve. Yeah, James, that's a succinct way of putting it.
Yep.
Very succinct. Well, what else you got for us? I think we've beaten this one to death.
Have we?
Probably.
What if your
Hopefully.
conflict is not contentious enough? What do you do?
Ramp it up. Ramp it up. Add another stumbling block. Make things explode.
Offend a new party.
Yes, or have them offend you.
Or you could just do something like throw in a bureaucratic roadblock.
Ooh, yes.
See, there's no
Processes.
hatred. It's merely the rules, sir. Everyone has to follow the rules.
Oh boy. It will be 2 weeks before we can do this. Yeah, right.
I realize that you need this done by today, but I'm afraid that your poor planning does not constitute a crisis on my part.
James says, in Paul's case, usually hero. I want to live. Internal conflict. I can push this guy into the creature and run faster. Seems legit.
You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than your friends.
Exactly.
True. And sometimes, go ahead.
You just have to be faster than the person you just wounded.
True. True. And if you have to add extra conflict, figure out how to make your setting more complicated. Throw challenges into the setting.
Oh yeah, environment.
Because the external conflict doesn't have to be another person or another like active problem being introduced. It can just be a limitation, some kind of environmental limitation. Oh, we're running out of air. Oh, there goes the food. Oh, the water's contaminated.
Oh dear.
The major conflict is we're trying to stop a nuclear reactor from melting down. That's the major conflict.
30,000 ships have arrived in orbit, but they don't have air. We have to get them all down to the surface. How are we going to manage that?
See, Tim says you don't have to be faster than the black, just faster than the bacon. Oh. Don't outrun the lion, just run out your guide. Outrun your guide.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Dante's Peak. Yeah, I remember that movie.
We're
out of coffee.
Like that movie.
That is definitely.
I can assure you that outrunning the guide is never an option, because the first sign of trouble, before you even realize there's trouble, all you see is asses and elbows from the guide who knows that you are the one he has to outrun.
Yep, it's like the bomb text. If you see me running, just try to catch up.
Yeah, I get that completely. I haven't written the story, but there's definitely a precursor to Station 3 called Handley 5. And it's mentioned many times in Station 3, yes. It was a very bad mission where they had terrorists basically try and blow up a gas processing station by sabotaging a nuclear reactor. Our folks get sent in, so the conflict is they have to shut down the nuclear reactor, and the other sub-conflicts are they got to kill all these motherfuckers and save the hostages. So you have several different conflicts going out at the same time. And I really want to write that story. I really want to write that story. I need to, because I miss Zilf. I miss him a lot. I miss his entire team. But adding those kind of conflicts, that's a lot of different conflicts for people to sort out. And then you add some little, and then if you add a little friction on the team, it gets even better. So that's how I would load up that story. That is one I definitely want to tell. We got 6.5 minutes left, people.
Oh no.
It's scary. How did we run this out already? William says he's out of coffee. That is definitely a conflict, and I would definitely take care of that as quickly as possible. There's probably some helplines that will basically do an airdrop of coffee to you. I'm sure V has their numbers, so just hit her up for
they're
those.
Called teenagers, and I have totally told my kid, hey, you're going to be here, bring coffee. Actually, I did that Tuesday because I was helping to run open house stuff for the high school, and my kid was like, oh, I'll come over to help. Good. Here's my coffee order. You need to pick it up. I'll order something for you too. So
James says, although with nuclear reactors, they have learned enough to have huge levers to basically scram the reactors, even if you're an idiot. Yes, unless you build a better idiot or you build people who sabotage the whole damn thing so you can't do it. Or maybe it's already running away. I have no idea. I have to go back and look at my notes. Conflict on top of conflict on top of conflict, and then run out of coffee. That sounds like V's worst nightmare. Running out of coffee.
You know what I hear that sounds like a worst nightmare? Somebody's doing their lawn. It's probably.
I know. I can hear the 15,000 fucking leaf blowers outside. Welcome to my Saturdays, and Fridays, and Thursdays, and Wednesdays. Let's
Yeah,
see. Tim says, are there different types / scales of conflict? Do they work differently? Yeah.
absolutely.
I think I've said this before, but conflict to me works best when it's personal, when it's on a lower, it's not this huge scale. I can't get too invested in trying to save the universe because I can't put a face to that. It doesn't mean as much to me. If I'm trying to save my daughter, if I'm trying to save my wife, if I'm trying to save my friend, that's a completely different kind of stake.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually find those stakes to be far more interesting because they're achievable and they're very personal. It's really hard to say, I'm going to take down this alien menace. It's another thing to say, I'm going to go save somebody. And they're two very, very different things. And I like the former better than the latter. Oh, for fuck's sake, will you stop? So talk amongst yourselves for the next 3 minutes so I don't, scare you with leaf blowers.
Like we said, introducing environmental conflict.
Didn't you literally have the solar system for external aliens and AI? I am not saying a damn word.
Well, I don't know. I think with introducing different kinds of conflict, and there's certain there are certain categories of stories, and they're categorized by the type of conflict that they have. And I know one of the books I have actually has lists of potential conflicts and just groupings of things you can do. But if you struggle with it, people have written there's a trope thesaurus. I promise you there's a conflict thesaurus. Or even a trope thesaurus is going to have the conflicts in it. Where's that book? It's my life. I have a book. I swear. It's here. I could use it. I can't find it. Oh, wait, there it is. It's hiding. My desk is a wreck. But trope thesaurus. So there's one here, one of the tropes is fish out of water. Finding oneself in an unfamiliar situation creates major potential conflict. Okay. So, and then it's accidental conflict. So then possible tropes. Keep in mind, this is for romance. Accidental pregnancy, across the tracks, antagonist, arranged marriage, bachelor, best friends, billionaire, fairy tale, family, fish out of water, forced proximity, jealousy, love triangle, opposites attract, rival reunion, royalty, scars, second chance, secrets, unrequited love, violence. And then how to use. Anytime you want to create more challenges for your characters, throwing them into unfamiliar circumstances yields so much potential conflict. Once they're in an awkward situation, ramp up the conflict by creating more problems with their current situation. And this one always throws a film to reference. And the one that they throw in for fish out of water is Crazy Rich Asians, which if you've not seen it, is a fantastic movie with a killer cast. And it really does stack interpersonal conflicts on top of each other. And some are honest to goodness, people butting heads, and others are societal conflicts.
Right.
So people fall into them because of expectations through tradition or expectations through societal rank. So where you're perceived in your social hierarchy. But I would, if you're not sure, grab a book and don't restrict genre.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Tim, I don't even have time to address your question, I don't think. But there's always After Dark, which is coming up in 10 and a half minutes. Well, if you have a question or comment about this episode, you can go to deadrobotsociety.com, punch that contact number. Wow, I'm having problems today. Contact button and send us an email. If you would like to join our Discord server and learn all the madness that goes on there, the link is in the show notes. Come join our community, say hi. And if you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows like the one that's coming up in 10 minutes. And our $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Antoine Batts, Tony L. Joy, Rick Shaw, Lisa Slack, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. And with that, we are going to get out of here so we can get ready to do whatever we're going to do in After Dark.
Goodness only knows.
Evidently, I've promised things, and maybe I'll deliver on them, and maybe I won't.
You're such a tease.
I know.
Such a tease. Oh my God, it's just terrible. All right, folks, we'll see you next
Plot
week. Thanks for hanging
edging
out.
at its finest.
Thanks
Plot
for
edging? Yes. Yes.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.
Or will we? Will we?
Oh God.